HUD reporting requirements, we're planning to continue what we started last year of picking one of the neighborhoods and focusing our targeted dollars there instead of kind of divvying it up every year. So everyone had a little bit of homework, and we will be meeting again later this month. Thank you, Chair.
Can I ask why Vine is not invited to those meetings?
I defer to the chair to city staff.
Vanessa, would you like to answer the question?
Okay, Margaret, which meeting are you talking about?
The targeted neighborhood meetings?
Well, what will take place is the current committee members will actually be touching bases with each of the representatives from the neighborhood.
So Vine will be invited to the next one?
No. What they would actually do is that you will actually, Megan will actually call a meeting and she'll speak with you, but the actual main meeting, we can only have so many individuals. Before we have to, have a regular.
Okay, so is Vine under consideration as a possible recipient for the targeted neighborhood funds?
Yes. Megan will be contacting you.
Okay, thank you, Megan. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Megan. Candace, are you available now for the application committee report?
Okay, let me give
So, I'm
Can
sorry,
you
go
hear
ahead.
me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So we met, Vanessa, Tammy and I, to discuss the changes for the application process. We didn't obviously get through all the changes, and I'm not sure whether anybody submitted questions to Vanessa about any changes that needed to be made on the actual application itself. And I think that we have a date. If anybody is interested in commenting on it, we have a date for completion of the actual application. And Vanessa, can I, double check with you on these dates? Because I believe October 7th would be the date for us to have completed any amendments, changes to the application itself. So I'm not sure that anybody had any questions or comments about last year's application, but we're going to use the same application with any amendments that folks see fit.
Yeah, Candace, it is my understanding that Tammy and Megan will be getting together. So I'm quite sure you all will be meeting prior to the next meeting. So at that time, whatever changes or anything that needs prior to it being presented.
Yeah. Okay. So Megan, thank you for calling me back, because I didn't want to directly contact Edison because of your role there. But I'm curious, while I was thinking about this, if you and Tammy could come up with organizations or businesses that can meet the minimum criteria for applications so that we can try and get some new applicants. As far as, there's a lot of discussion, and I have a lot of questions about who is or isn't eligible to even apply. And based on our previous year's applicants, which are very repetitive, like, Community Homeworks and Habitat, I have a question. I don't know that we answered that question about prior applicants who are not meeting the minimum criteria, that's not on target, that's not meeting timelines. What do we do when these people come back to apply again and they have not fulfilled the requirements of their previous funding application?
That is something, Candace, that you and the committee will determine when you all meet. Just
Okay.
members.
All right. It's just that I didn't clearly understand it myself. And, maybe Megan and Tammy from the Edison side understands who within this neighborhood would even be eligible to apply, that had the financial credibility to do what they needed to do to even apply for funds. So that's what I wanted to speak with you about, Megan, and you to Tammy, is to target somebody and to talk to them, because we have a date that has to be met. So anyway, let me go ahead with what else we talked about. We have to get out a notice of funding. Tammy Ray took the responsibility to make contact with the north and east side. That would be Pat Taylor and Jeanette Tolliver, Maddie and Amina. Are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah, so Tammy Ray and you should get together with Pat Taylor and or Jeanette Tolliver for the north and east side to try to identify people that are available and have the criteria, that can meet the criteria for the application process. We have to get the information out. And so if there's somebody in those neighborhoods between you all, we should identify who they are and make sure that they have access to the application. For Edison, obviously, it's going to be Megan and Tammy. I don't know what my role would be, because I really don't know in Edison any entity in Edison that either hasn't already received funding or that would be minimally qualified to apply, Megan. So that's kind of what I was hoping you and Tammy could come up with, somebody else within this targeted neighborhood that we can help with the application process and maybe at least get them started. Even if they're not completely eligible, we can get somebody else started. As far as Vine is concerned, Vanessa, it is my understanding that Steve Walsh is going to be the contact for Vine.
Yes. So, and as assigned, I think we wrote it down exactly, would be contacting Vine and Vine neighborhood.
Yeah, and so it's my understanding clear that Margaret no longer wants to be on the application committee, which means that there is one person to do the Vine outreach.
What we would actually do is we'll come up and address it. We'll ask James to actually join the committee in Margaret's place.
Oh, okay. All right. Do we do that at the next committee meeting or now?
Well, we can do it at the next committee meeting, or we can ask him if he's interested now.
Well, I would like to ask him, is he interested? James, are you interested in being the contact person for Vine for the application, 2021 application, to see if we can get someone targeted to apply for those funds?
Are you talking about the neighborhood committee?
James, I think what the question should be is, are you interested in serving on the application committee? At our next meeting, we can talk to you further about what your role would look like in serving on that committee, which would be to reach out to these folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, all right, so we can, so you'll be participating in the next committee meeting, and so we can discuss it further then, I guess.
Okay.
Beyond that, I just wanted to clarify the dollar amount of money that would be available for 2021. And it's my understanding that Vanessa Home Funds would be $450,000. That's a decrease from last year.
As of right now, we are not actually giving a definite. That's something that we would more or less discuss at the committee, at our committee meeting, once we get to the funding.
Okay. All right. So the same thing for CDBG, you know, we're kind of at the same level we were at last year. That just kind of gives us a ballpark of what we're going to be looking at this year. I had notes for the committee to pay special attention to community homeworks and Habitat for Humanity, but that would be a committee conversation as well, correct?
Correct.
Yes, Candace.
to look at, we're going to go through this process and we've got some time, but
Mhm.
we're going to get repetitive applications specifically from Habitat and from Community Homeworks. And I just want it in the back of our mind that we need to take a second look at both of them.
So
And their
what we'll
own
do, Candace,
application.
is we will address organizations and individuals through our application process, through the scoring process. So when we look at our application and decide what the questions or what the scale will look like for next year, we will address that at that time. So all of these things are our committee conversations.
All right, I got you.
Would
So,
it be, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I can't raise my hand. Would
Go ahead.
with it be committee conversations, does that mean, okay, let me just do it a different way. Is it possible I could get a copy of the applications?
Yeah, so right now the application is the same as it was last time. I can email it out to you, and if you have some recommendations as we're working on the application, you're welcome to email those recommendations to the application committee.
Can I just say too, part of the goal of the application committee, I think, is that while we were going through the applications and scoring them during the most recent funding cycle, there were a couple of questions that we as a committee didn't necessarily have the same opinion of what the question was asking versus how we were scoring it. And so the intention, I think, is really to make sure that the questions are clear so that the applicants understand what we're looking for and that we're really clear in what we're looking for and how we're scoring it.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
All right, I don't have a whole lot else on here other than some dates that we need to pay attention to. I think the first date, Vanessa, if I'm not mistaken, is October the 7th, which would be us being complete with any changes on the application. And the only other date that I have is a deadline date of November 23rd for due dates, deadlines for application. Did I miss a date?
No, we'll actually be talking more detail as to when we'll be putting it out, putting the actual application out.
Okay, and is the NOFA Zoom meeting need to be put out there today for October 22nd?
No.
Okay. All right. I don't have a whole lot other than, we need to get the application completed and we need to find, target some applicants. That's all. And, Megan, if it's anything that I can do at all that you or Tammy would like me to do or reach out to anybody, please give me a call and let me know if I can do anything.
Yeah, I'll just say too, I saw your email this afternoon, but I was on the go and didn't have a chance to respond. But we'll link up with Tammy from Edison next week and talk a little bit more about applicants in Edison. And I have some feedback that I'll share with you and Tammy on the application itself.
Okay. Okay. I don't really have anything else, Vanessa. That's pretty much all I had on the applications. Not unless somebody has questions that I may or may not be able to answer. Hello?
Thank you, Candace.
All right.
Are there any questions for Candace? No? Okay. Thank you, Candace. So we'll move forward to electing a co-chair. We will open the floor up for nominations. And I would like to nominate Megan.
That's
Are
fine.
there-
I would second that.
Thank you, Margaret.
Megan, do you stand for this?
I accept the nomination.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
I don't have any suggestions.
We good with Megan.
I have to ask 3 times, I think. So one more time. Are there any other nominations? No, so we'll move forward to voting. Is there a motion to elect Megan as the co-chair?
I'll
So
motion,
moved.
Candace, for Megan to be co-chair of the committee,
See that?
CDAC.
So I heard James say, so moved. Was that support, Candace?
Yes.
So all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? No, looks like we got a co-chair. Congratulations,
Yay.
Megan.
All
Congratulations.
right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Except,
Everybody else said
Megan,
thank you.
Megan, you have to teach your dog to speak English.
I brought so he normally doesn't bark. This is very rare.
Okay, so we will move into staff updates. Vanessa has a COVID-19 funding update.
Yes, so as of now, our COVID-19 funding, we have awarded 719,000 to HRI for eviction prevention. So please, of course, share with your different neighborhoods as well as any community businesses, anything within your neighborhood that you want to post, please get in touch with me and I will provide you with a flyer for posting. In addition to that, we're working on can you hear me? That we're working now on our small business loan for our COVID funding. So we'll definitely by the next time, we'll have a definite description to the award and any, I'll be able to answer any questions at that time. So any questions in reference to our eviction prevention award?
Vanessa, is the funding for them, do you know how much it is?
719,000.
Is that just a continuation of the current program or did they do something? Is that,
This is strictly for COVID. These are dollars that's strictly for COVID.
okay. So that's not eviction diversion.
These dollars are strictly for COVID individuals who are actually being threatened as far as being evicted from their
Yeah.
home. They have the right to actually go to, I think you dial 211 and they would be directed to HRI.
Okay. And these,
That money is for COVID people to avoid eviction.
Yes, these dollars are, yes. So anyone in the community who a landlord is threatening to evict them, they would need to more or less dial 211. They would need to have something either from the courts or they need to have a letter from their landlord saying that, they're as far as the amount of months they're behind, I think it only goes up to 3 months.
so we could actually flyer what? What are we able to flyer? Schools, churches?
Well, at this point, I'm pretty much more concerned with having it at your neighborhood associations.
Okay.
So Vanessa, is this funding in addition to what the state sent to HRI to help
Yes,
eviction?
yes. This is strictly funding HUD funding that was sent to the city of Kalamazoo. And yes, so this is a separate part of funding from whatever else they may have received from MISTA.
So the flyer we had before won't suffice for this. This is something different. We need a different flyer.
This is totally different.
Okay. You gonna send us a flyer?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay. And then you want us to go around and post them in places?
Oh, no, ma'am. You can actually contact your neighborhood association.
Mm-hmm.
with your neighborhood association and they can do the posting.
Okay, so you're gonna send me a flyer and I'm gonna take it to them
You
and
don't-
have them.
You don't have to take it. You can email it.
Oh, okay.
Are there any additional questions for Vanessa?
Will you email everyone?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Vanessa,
Well,
is
what
that-
is that? You said, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Okay, you said this 719 is strictly for evictions. What was that you were saying a minute ago about small business loans?
Right. So that is we will have more definite on that at our next meeting.
Okay,
We actually get a contract signed.
so that's not part of the 719.
No, ma'am, those are additional.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Vanessa, how are those small business loans being marketed to the community?
Once again, we'll have more detailed information at our next meeting as to the process.
Okay, we're
Okay.
talking about the next full CDEC meeting?
That is correct.
Okay.
Additional questions, Amina, Candace?
No,
Vanessa, does that conclude your report?
Yes, thank you, it does.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move again to citizens' comments.
We received one citizen comment. I'll play that now.
Do we have any citizen comments?
Yes, let me play that one moment.
Good evening. My name is Roger Storteboom, and I live at 231 West Cedar Street, downtown, above Douglas and Son Paint Store. And this call is in regards to variance number 3 of the 234 West Cedar LLC and Park at Rose LLC project. I own Douglas and Son Paint Store, and while I am in full support of the ongoing development project, I have a major concern of something I have previously voiced to our city planner. I cannot tell from the proposed drawing, but I am requesting that no parking is allowed directly across from 231 and 233 West Cedar, as it will make it impossible for the daily semi-truck deliveries to back into our loading area on the east side of our store. They need the entire width of the road to back their trailers in. Unloading them in the road with our forklift would create an environmental hazard if there ever was a spill. Thank you so much for your consideration.
That concludes public comments.
You're on mute.
Sorry, thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for those public comments. We're at the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.